Hi guys, welcome to the New Starters event for UA92. I can see we've got 5 of you at the moment. We are expecting 7 people, so we'll just hang fire for a minute or two and see if we've got a couple of others joining. Okay, so we've got 3 people who will be starting in our accounting and finance program, and we've got a couple of people who should be joining from our computer science program, and 1 person from media and 1 person from sport. And if you don't know me, my name is Rachel, and I have been sending out messages to some of our new students. Business students will know me better than perhaps, and the computer science students will know me better than some other people. But we also have here Gareth, who is our Director of Student Affairs. And Gareth is going to be leading us today to take us through some really cool stuff. So yeah, so who have we got here? So we've got Fahima, Syra, Nuria, Mamadou, yeah, and Javier. So 5 out of our, and Asma is waiting, so we're going to let Asma in. And okay, so we're only 1 person short now, so we're actually doing really well. So if you want to, guys, you're welcome to put your videos on. Garrett's going to share a presentation with us pretty soon, and then as we get further on in, I think we'll open for some questions. How does that sound, Gareth?
Yeah, if you've got any questions as you go along, feel free. If you kind of put something into the chat, Rachel can help flag with me. But just feel free to ask questions, because I don't want it to make it seem like I'm just talking at you. Because if questions come up around anything that I cover, please just let me know, either by putting something in the chat, or just kind of speaking up and asking as we go. Should we just give it 1 more minute, Rachel, and then I'll get going.
Yep. Okay. Let's do that. Okay. I think the person that we are missing is Ruben, who is our sports guy. Everybody else is here, so that's fantastic. Yeah, been a long time coming. I know everybody's looking forward to January. Everybody's looking forward to Christmas. Who's looking forward to Christmas in the room? That would be me. Yes. So we've just had our Christmas party at UA92, haven't we, Gareth? Wonderful
virtual fun fair. Yeah.
Very good. Yes. Christmas jersey competitions all around. I was not in the competition. Gareth was in the competition, weren't you, Gareth? You were.
Yeah, I'm wearing, for any Home Alone fans.
Oh, brilliant.
Macaulay Culkin there.
It's definitely a generational thing, Gareth.
Yeah. Okay, should I get going then, Rachel?
Let's get cracking. Yep, sounds
Brilliant.
good. I'm going to mute myself for a sec.
Rachel, if you just want to hand over control to me.
Oh, yes, sorry. Where are you here? And we're going to make you the host. And away you go.
Can everybody see that? Nod at me if you can see that. Brilliant, fabulous. Okay, I'll go through then. So as Rachel said, I'm Gareth Smith. I'm the Director of Student Affairs at UA92. Basically means I look after the other bits at the institution, other than your kind of learning and teaching. So everything else that's around it, kind of my team who have been liaising with you up until now to kind of help admit you into the institution and provide support, but hopefully right the way through from now when we're talking about you joining UA92, right through to you graduating kind of in 3 years' time, or for some of you I know doing accelerated, hopefully in 2 years' time, even quicker. So the first thing I wanted to talk to you about is COVID, and I know everyone's probably a bit kind of tired of COVID. There's so much going on, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what we've done on campus. So the big benefit we've got is we've got a really big campus. It's designed for thousands of students, and right now we've only got a few hundred students. You'll increase our numbers, but we'll kind of be up to a couple of hundred students. And what that means is we've got the benefit of being able to have kind of full social distancing in place. So in your kind of classrooms and places where you'll be taught, like a classroom that held 30, it's currently got 12 students in it. One that holds 60, it's got about 28 or so. And that means we've got all the students kind of 2 meters apart whilst you're on campus. So it means it's really safe and COVID secure from all of that standpoint. We've got loads of hand sanitizer points all over the place. I know everyone's hands are starting to get a bit sore from all the kind of use of hand sanitizer, but again, kind of lots of places where you can kind of make sure your hands are clean around campus. And this kind of bottom icon you can see with the 2 people in the cross, that's about the kind of sharing of equipment. So if you go to a lot of universities designed hundreds of years ago, you'll see that they've got big traditional libraries with books that no one's looked at for years or even decades. All of our resources are digital, and the benefit of that means that whether you're on campus with us, whether you're at home, whether in student accommodation, it means you can access all of your resources, books, journals, everything, wherever you are. And it means you don't have to worry about borrowing a book that someone else has just been using, everything around that. So we've got a kind of a really secure COVID kind of friendly campus. And so whilst we have had some cases of COVID on campus, all higher education institutions have them, it's been really kind of small for us, and the risk to people has been really low because of this kind of spacing that we've put in place. And so what I'll do is I'll show you a quick video of some of the things we've done around campus.
Katie.
And I'm Andrew.
And we're part of the student recruitment team here at UA92.
Welcome to Old Trafford, the home of our fantastic campus. Let's take a look around. When you first walk in, you'll find our student help desk, where our students can get support with well-being, social activities, accommodation, or anything else that they might need help with. So now let's head to the digital lab and meet one of our computer science students, Anita.
Hi, my name is Anita Shah. I'm a first year computer science student. As part of our learning, we will be spending a lot of time in the digital lab. In our degree, we will be learning how to make websites, coding, programming, and a lot more.
The team have worked tirelessly to make sure that our campus is safe and secure for all of our staff and students. We've reduced numbers on campus to make sure that all of our students can get 8 hours of in-person teaching every week. We've got a one-way system to move around the campus, and we've got hand sanitizer stations at all points. We have regular in-depth cleaning throughout the day, and in any social areas and teaching spaces, we have designated seating areas so that our students and staff are maintaining social distancing at all times.
Hi, I'm Bobby Hadcraft and I'm a second year journalism student here at UA92. This is our media lab. It's full of top of the range cameras, a podcasting studio and an editing suite in the back. We've used it to create news shows, podcasts and then edit it all in the back ready to submit our assignments. It'll also prepare us for the future in industry where we will use similar equipment. Now let's have a look around with our tutor Lawrence.
Hi, my name's Lawrence Brannan. I'm the course leader for Media, Journalism and Sports Journalism. Media and journalism students need access to top quality digital equipment and at UA92 we have access to the Media Lab, which is a TV production space, it is an audio production space, and it is an editing and project management space. Students come in here on their different modules when they're working on their assignments because they might be producing a digital magazine, a television programme or a podcast, and they can use this space with supervision to create their assignments. So that's our Media Lab. But if you're interested in sports, have a look at our high-spec sports performance hub.
Hi, I'm Daisy and I'm a first year sport and exercise science student. This is the performance hub and this is where we get to put our theory into practice.
Hello everybody and welcome to UA92 Performance Hub. My name is Owen Murray. I'm the tutor here in Sport and Exercise Science. So our Performance Hub at UA92 is very much a multifunctional space It's a classroom for our students to learn on physiology, biomechanic modules.
Hi, I'm Fleur and I'm the course leader for Business Accounting here at UA 92. This area is the deck. We use this area as part of our breakout for our lessons for our students, so rather than just being stuck in a classroom with us, they can actually work on real life tasks. In addition to that, we work with our industry partners such as KPMG and TalkTalk, where they provide insight days and they come in and provide guest lectures for our students to get real life experiences. Because it's not just about being in the classroom and listening to us, it's actually about getting them ready for work and using that real life as part of their studies.
Hi, my name is Avila and I'm a second year accounting and finance student at UA 92. So during my course specifically, we've had a lot of involvement with KPMG. We've had several insight days that we've gone to on their premises, and we've had some guest speakers come in from their company to tell us about their job roles. And it's great finding out different roles that you can go into after you finish university and different career prospects.
Hi everyone, I'm Steph and I'm the Student Wellbeing Officer. Here at UA 92, wellbeing is at the core of everything that we do. And as part of the Student Wellbeing Service, you can access one-to-one appointments with me. We have a range of wellbeing activities, which include yoga, mindfulness and fitness sessions. And we also have our inclusive support service. So if you have a long-term health condition, mental health condition, disability or a specific learning difficulty like dyslexia, there's loads of support that we can help you to access.
The Wellbeing Centre is absolutely amazing. If you're a first-time student coming to Manchester or coming to uni, it has all the things that you may need if you're worrying about if you're homesick, if you've got financial hardship, if you're struggling with your mental health. There's always something there in the Wellbeing Centre, which is great.
Now I'm going to hand over to John, who's one of our second year students.
Hiya, I'm John and I'm a sport and exercise science student at UA 92. I'm outside our campus today on this lovely day, and it's in a brilliant location right next to the tram stop, which is about a 10-minute journey to town, to Media City. You can go to the Trafford Centre, so many great places that you can go via the tram. And also, we're just over the road from Academy Apartments, which is a stone's throw away.
Thank you for joining us today to have a look around our incredible facilities here in Old Trafford, Manchester.
We look forward to seeing you soon, whether it's online or on campus at one of our open days. You can also drop us an email at hello@ua92.ac.uk.
See you soon.
Bye.
So hopefully that gave you all a kind of a good feel for kind of how campus is right now and some of the facilities you're going to be accessing as students. So I just want to explain kind of what we're doing at UA 92 and how this differs from some other universities. So we're currently operating at stage 1 of our kind of COVID plans, which means that we'll be providing your learning. So throughout your degree, you'll have 16 hours of classes kind of every week where you're in term time. But right now, half of that will be on campus and half it over Microsoft Teams, as we are right now. But all of it will be live, face-to-face teaching, whether it's on campus or over Teams. For some of you, that will be, you'll have your Teams on a Monday and a Thursday, and then on campus Tuesday, Friday. For others, it's the other way around. We've managed to maintain this throughout, so all the way through until the last 2 weeks where we've just had to go online fully, just so the students can return home for Christmas. Other than that, we've had this same style of teaching throughout, and we know that most universities haven't been able to do that. They've been fully online, and I think you've seen some of the kind of challenges that it's had elsewhere. So certainly our intention right now, and for you starting in January, would be that we're going to be operating in stage 1 like that. The only other thing I'll highlight is that it means that you kind of need to wear face coverings whilst you're moving around campus, but then once you're in your classes, be it you're in the computer studio or your sat in your accounting class, you don't then need to wear a mask, because 4 hours is a very long time to wear a mask for. It's just whilst you walk in there, or whilst you're walking to go and get a drink or go to the toilet or anything like that, you just need to wear a mask there to kind of help keep your fellow students, yourself, and kind of all our staff safe. What Tier 3 means for UA 92 students, so obviously we're still kind of in this kind of full lockdown across the UK, but we've got this Tier 3 in Manchester. We'll see whether this changes before you start. But right now, what it means for any of you who are staying in student accommodation is that you shouldn't be moving backwards and forwards between kind of your student accommodation and your family home on a kind of regular basis. And anyone that's a commuter student needs to be kind of careful in terms of what they're doing as well. But all that information that is here in terms of what you need to do. I mentioned earlier in terms of what close contact is and why we've got kind of social distancing in place. And the reason for this is to try and avoid any close contacts happening on campus. So that means that if anyone in your class or anyone else catches COVID, as long as you've not had close contact, you don't need to self-isolate. So close contact is any face-to-face contact with somebody for under a metre. So we'd urge you to always stick a metre apart when you're on campus for people. So if you're within that metre, if they catch COVID or if you catch COVID and it's someone you've been talking to, it means you're close contact and you'll have to self-isolate. If it's between 1 and 2 meters and we get, you know what, if your tutor's there just helping you with something, or you just need to talk to somebody quickly, there might be time when you need to get closer than 2 meters. Please try and minimize that. Make sure you're wearing masks if you need to do so, and just keep it for a very short period of time. What that means is that your time spent in class, where you're all spread out by 2 meters, isn't close contact. So if any kind of instances of COVID occur, there shouldn't be any need for you to self-isolate and kind of return home. So that's kind of really positive and different again to what you'd see if you were kind of stuck in traditional lecture theatres. We've never had big lecture theatres at UA 92, and what kind of we've done as a result of COVID is kind of just refine kind of everything that we're doing to make sure that it's as safe as it possibly can be for you all. What we are doing, and this might be new information to some of you, is we are delaying the kind of start of term for all of you, and this is due to government guidance that's been issued over the past kind of week or so. And so you were due to start kind of your block on January the 11th, with the induction happening the week before. So we're now moving your first start date to January the 25th, and your induction will be the Thursday before that. So induction will be happening on Thursday, the 21st of January, and I'll talk more about that later. Block 4 is then delayed by 1 week rather than 2 weeks, and by block 5 and block 6, there's no change. So whilst you're starting 2 weeks later than was originally planned, what it means in terms of when you end, for any of you doing kind of the full year, there's no change to that. And a couple of you that are doing accelerated, again, it won't have an impact. Are there any questions about any of that from any of you? Because I know that's new information. No, if not, that'll be going out in writing as well to you, but I'll talk more about induction shortly. So a little bit more about UA 92 in terms of the way we're doing. A lot of you will know this already, but when you're at UA 92, you're just studying this one module at a time. So you're not trying to get your head around 3 or 6 different concepts. Oh, I can see we've got some things in the chat. Hopefully let me know. Does that mean the break times between the block is decreased? Yes, between block 3 and block 4, there's only 1 week between asthma rather than 2 weeks, which there would have been before. But then the blocks, then the breaks after that should be the same. So there's still a break between the blocks. We're not doing anything consecutively. It's just narrowed down. We're just recording this session, but we will send round the full dates, just to confirm them with you as well. But we mentioned just the one module at a time. So if you're doing your first module, let's say it's sports psychology, you're only doing sports psychology. You're not trying to get your head around sport coaching and sport pedagogy at the same time. You're just doing that one particular approach, which is certainly better than trying to get kind of 6 different concepts at the same time. There's no end of year exams. For those of you doing accounting, that doesn't mean there's no exams, but what it means is that all of your assessment is contained within the blocks. So let's say you're doing financial accounting for 5 weeks. Everything that you'll learn is within that 5 weeks, and your exam or any test at the end will happen within that we have to do the tests in accounting to make sure that we get those all important kind of exemptions from CIMA and AAT, etc. All of you should know that you study in the morning or afternoon. So if you're a morning student, you're 9 till 1. If you're an afternoon student, you'll be 2 till 6. And that will be the case from when you do your induction with us. You'll be allocated into that morning or afternoon right the way through till when you graduate with us. And as you know, there are multiple start dates. So there's a number of you starting here in January. We had a number of students start with us in November, and obviously a number of students start with us in September. But it's very much part of this kind of approach at UA 92. And because we're just doing one module at a time, you're absolutely not behind the other students. You're just studying things in a different order. So they haven't had any teaching on the subject matter that you're going to be covering. So don't worry about being behind or anything like that. The one module at a time absolutely allows these different times to start. And hopefully this next video I will show you will explain this in a bit more detail. Great, so hopefully that video gave you a bit of an overview. So in terms of our timetable, I mentioned this before, but let's go for it. If you're an afternoon student, then you'll be an afternoon student the whole time you're at UA 92 on a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday across each of the blocks you're studying in. That's 2 till 6. At the moment, we mentioned kind of half of that's on campus. So you might be on campus on the Monday and the Thursday, and then over Microsoft Teams on the Tuesday and the Friday. Obviously, if restrictions list, and we're hoping there's going to be kind of a vaccine, particularly kind of coming in place. Certainly, I think from September, we'd be looking to move back physically, fully on campus if we can. Then we'd move to that 16 hours a week on campus. But whatever happens, your timetable's fixed. The only thing that changes is whether it's remote over Teams or physically on campus. The same goes for the morning students as well. Wednesdays are different, and so there's no compulsory attendance on a Wednesday, but there's often things to do, but you can do it any time you like. So you might choose to do it at 9 o'clock in the morning, you might choose to do it at 3 in the afternoon or 2 o'clock in the middle of the night. Wherever you want to do it is fine, as long as you do it before your class the next day. That's to enable students to kind of, a number of people have jobs, or hopefully as well, for those of you that are keen on sport, hopefully university sport's going to start up again in January, which means that we'll have teams competing kind of in the British University Colleges Sport Leagues. I'm working on our kit earlier with Nike, so loads of really exciting things going on a Wednesday in terms of university sport. And you can see our academic year structure. And so particularly for you, obviously we're looking at this, you're all starting in January. Oh, sorry, we skipped forward a slide there. And so you're studying study block 3. And so what you do is you're doing 3, 4, 5, and 6. But module number 1 repeats in block 5, and module number 2 repeats in block 6. So you're in essence studying the modules in order 3, 4, 1, 2. But you can study it in absolutely any order. You can study it 4, 3, 1, 2, 4, 3, 2, 1. However you study it, you're not at a disadvantage at all. So you're going to be doing 5 weeks on your subject module and then 1 week on our target talent curriculum module. So you might be covering a range of different topics, things like resilience, communication skills, and one that we've recently developed with Microsoft, where all of our students spend that week getting a Microsoft certification. So one thing that I know I struggle with when applying for a job is being able to prove that I can use PowerPoint. Hopefully you can see that I can kind of use PowerPoint, sometimes skip forward a little bit, but you can use PowerPoint, but I don't have anything that proves that to an employer. So as part of the TTC, you'll all get that ability to get that official certification from Microsoft, one of our partners, which is something you can take off kind of and share with employers, whether you're doing a computer science degree, accounting degree, sport management degree, etc. That all works. So you complete that module, and then what you can do is you're going to have another week or two off before you go into module 4, and then that continues. Obviously, for you, there's no summer break. You continue through. I think we've got a couple of you that are doing accelerated, and obviously for accelerated degrees, you just study all 6 blocks of the year. So you'll finish your first year, or level 4, as it were, over the summer, and then you'll be joining the kind of level 5, the second year of study, in September, and completing it all within 2 years. So you should be done by kind of this time of year. In 2 years' time, you should be completed with your degree. Whilst it seems really intensive, obviously the reality is that that's 36 weeks of study a year, so it's completely doable. But if you've got any queries kind of about the accelerated, we're really happy to kind of talk to you about it as we go forward. The other thing that is different about UA92, and I just mentioned target talent curriculum, is we put character development at the absolute kind of core of what we do. It's not just the academic side of everything. So Asma, you should have been sent your kind of timetable in terms of whether you're a morning or an afternoon student, and we can kind of pick up with you if that's not clear. Rachel, can you pick up with Asma? Is that okay? Great, perfect. So the different thing about UA92 is the kind of the character development focus. This was inspired by kind of what the class of 92, I know some of you might be sport fans and some not care at all, but what a class of 92, so Gary Neville, Phil Neville, Nicky Butt, Ryan Giggs and Paul Scholes are founders. What they learned from Sir Alex Ferguson as really successful footballers with Manchester United in the 1990s and early noughties is that character development. So Gary, who's really hands-on and involved in this, I'm just with him earlier today, he knows how important it is about kind of being determined and resilient and kind of keep going. It's not just about kind of how talented you are, it's about how hard you work. And if you work kind of that extra 10 minutes every day on top of everybody else, by the time you get to the end of the year, you're really kind of ahead of where you'd like to be. And this additional character development is something different that you don't get at other universities. So that really supports your kind of academic learning around all of your subjects and gives you the opportunity to work with people on different degree courses. So the journalism students working with the accounting students, the computer science students, maybe working with some of the sports science students, and kind of getting that kind of rounded skill set that will be really valuable to employers out the other side. We've got a number of kind of financial grant programs that we have at UA92, kind of bursaries and scholarships, one of which is Kickstart. If you're a Greater Manchester resident, which I know some of you are, and if you've lost your job or a family member has lost their job as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, please get in touch with us about it and you may be eligible for a Kickstart grant. There's 92 of these £5,000 grants funded by the class of 92 to give people kind of cash when they need it most. So if some of you I think have already confirmed you're eligible for Kickstart. If not, please feel free to drop us a message about it. If you're a Greater Manchester resident and you or a family member has lost their job since March, it doesn't matter what that job is. It might be that you were on a kind of a 0 hours contract working for Costa or Domino's, or it might be your mum has lost her job as well of it. Whatever it is, we're really keen to support you however we can. So please do get in touch if you think you might be eligible for Kickstart and you've not already applied. So the next thing I just wanted to talk to you about is the way that kind of our induction will work on the 21st of January. So we'll give you a campus tour. Obviously you had a virtual one just then, and a welcome from our kind of leadership team as well. A welcome from our leadership team. So that'll be myself, my colleague Ali, and a few other people. We'll be looking at kind of the values around UA92 and kind of what's driven us to set up the organisation in terms of kind of the founding principles from the class of 92. We'll be formally registering you as UA92 students, so you're kind of formally enrolled, and you'll get to meet your kind of course leaders and the people who will be teaching you throughout your time with us. We'll give you an introduction to Microsoft Teams. So we don't have a kind of traditional virtual learning environment. We use Microsoft Teams, fairly similar to Zoom as we're using today. It's an environment that's really used in the world of business and works really well. And so everything that you access goes through Microsoft Teams. So you'll be using it to chat to staff, you'll be using it to access all of your resources, to Teams into all of your classes, etc. Everything's integrated through Microsoft Teams. We'll equally introduce you to our library, which I mentioned is all kind of digital resources there, and a few other things around kind of our character and personal development, our target talent curriculum, and our student experience and student voice. The other thing that we'll be encouraging you to do, and this is for all our returning students as well, is that we will be running lateral flow testing, which is the quick version of COVID testing, and we would urge you to be COVID tested. So I'll be in touch with you early in the new year to arrange a slot, probably on this induction day, where we can just do a quick COVID test. And what that does is it assures you that you then know, coming back into university and going home to a parent, you know that you've not got COVID. It's not compulsory, but we would urge you. It's a really good thing to do, just kind of protect you and others. And then the final thing that I kind of wanted to mention before going over to any kind of further questions from you is that we will be allocating you student guides and buddies, etc. So you'll all be allocated one. You'll equally get a personal coach, which is a member of UA92 staff who will meet with you every block. And particularly right now during these challenging times, we think that's kind of really important. I don't need to tell you about resilience. You're absolutely all doing the right thing. You're applying to a university in these really difficult times. And you know what? We're there to support you every step of the way. Very much at UA92, you're going to be names, not numbers, because we're not one of those institutions with 20,000, 30,000 students. We're a small campus where we kind of everyone gets to know each other, and you're going to have that ability to kind of have that personal interaction and support from your personal coach with meetings twice per block. I know Rachel's one of their coaches, and lots of my team do it and do a fabulous job working with the students around it, and certainly do speak to some of our other students or student buddies about it, and they can tell you about their experience so far. When you're on campus, if you've got any queries, please just pop to the help desk. It's immediately on your right hand side as you walk through, and they can be your best port of call for anything that is outside the classroom. So if it's a query about your course, just speak to a tutor. For anything else, just come to the help desk. Be it you need a council tax exemption letter, or you're worried about something, about you don't know how to access something, come to them and they'll help you out. And you saw from Steph in the video earlier, who's our wellbeing officer, that we've got a great kind of wellbeing and inclusive support service, and they kind of work with learners to kind of support people through it. They might develop learner support plans if you're someone with additional needs, or alternatively, as I said, these are difficult times, they can arrange for kind of counselling sessions and other support, be it around things like money advice as needed. So I think that's everything from me. I'll kind of stop talking at you now, but I'm really happy to take kind of any questions. But equally, Rachel and I are really happy if you just kind of drop us any kind of messages as well. Feel free to get in touch and we'll come back to you on kind of any queries that you've got. So I'll stop sharing there and back over to Rachel and to all of you.